Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐔. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional. As the current time of Sunday, November 20th at 8:39 a.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum closed at $1,171, about 3.67% so far. On the over crypto market, as of this morning so far on the East Coast, I would say we are definitely, depreciating from the previous level that I've identified, which is, if you look at it closely on a daily perspective, it will be more clear. As you know, we've been laying this out quite clearly, and we've been hitting every single mark, quite precisely. I mean, we're like off by $5, $10 here and there, because there's no true, precise specificity. But with respect to the technical level, you could see that clearly we are, just levitating below 1250. So as we have talked about this conceptually before, whenever you're below a certain support or resistance level, you tend to go to the next level downwards. So that indicates, 1050 from here. And on the Bitcoin side of the equation as well, if you look closely, we are doing something very similar, right? This seems like a slightly upward wedge. So as you get higher and higher and higher and higher, you hit that apex, then you pop down from below, right? So take a look at the overall, altcoin side of the equation as well. You can see that we're quite submerged across the spectrum. Obviously we're still kind of digesting the FTX crypto, I guess, Ponzi scheme, as we are unveiling more and more and more negative news, as we are unveiling more and more negative, just like criminal activities that we've seen so far, seems like, Sam Bankman-Fried is really making a really just a terrible reputation for crypto exchanges, but just like the whole overall technology on a blockchain perspective. So, so whenever you see something like that, people are starting to pull away, which drives just more fear mongering, more people pulling out the capital. But also, there's a correlation between the stock market and the crypto market, right? We're not just seeing, capital being pulled away from the crypto market, but also the equity market. So people are slowly pulling capital out of just the overall market in general, which, as you keep doing that progressively, eventually all of these stocks or these financial assets are going to depreciate in price collectively, right? So that's something we have to be kind of mindful of, right? So take a look at the media front real quick, just like, more of a high level synopsis. Seems like we are opening on Monday on relatively flat notes, right? Nothing really high up or down, right? Across the spectrum. VIX is depreciating, down 3.38%. And seems like the news front is still kind of lingering around across the spectrum. There's some inflationary pressure that we're still experiencing. There seems like some buying activity coming from Warren Buffett, but obviously, $1 billion for someone that's worth like multi-billion dollars is like a small percentage. So he just dollar cost averaging during the downturn. Doesn't mean that we hit the bottom officially yet. And across the spectrum, I would say is relatively stale. I would say nothing really that specific, but obviously the main catalyst for this week is gonna be I would say, or lack of catalyst would be Thanksgiving, right? Obviously Thanksgiving is on Thursday and Friday is 25th, which is Black Friday. And in the U.S. holiday perspective, I believe it should be a market closing day. So we'll have a much shorter week this week. So something to think about. And then the following week will be something called, I don't know if you ever heard of this before. It's called Cyber Monday. So that's when like all the online sales start to pop up on the 28th of November. And then there's something called a Travel Tuesday, which is something that my sister brought up to me yesterday when I was having lunch with her. It seems like there are deals that's popping up on the 29th. So I guess if you guys are looking to travel in the near future, look out for it. I think airlines might be releasing some deals for us. I mean, with the whole macro market that's doing the way it's been doing so far, I would not be surprised if we, see some like interesting deals going on, especially for the ones that like to travel. And I think it's about time that we do it now. like just my hometown in Hong Kong, right? I know that they are opening the COVID restriction now, so it's less stringent in comparisons to the past. So that's something we appreciate, you know, or depreciate depending on how you think about it in the protective sense. And just take a look at some of the buying activity so far in the recent time frame. It seems like with respect to as of Friday, it's just a sell day across for ARK Invest. And then with respect to BlackRock, just take a look at a high level synopsis, right? Sell day on the respective Friday as well. So um, definitely leaning more towards a negative day. So seeing more, I don't foresee like a major bounce unless there's some specific catalyst. Like, it seems like Trump is going to be announcing, or has announced that he's going to be running for the election, but nothing is confirmatory. So ultimately, what's the remaining driver this week is really just like, let's just hope we don't get more, black swan news like the FTX incident. Let's just hope that the inflationary pressure will be well contained. And we'll see how it goes from there. So it's, again, a shorter week, but most of the catalysts like the FOMC meeting, the CPI report, obviously the inflationary pressure, combined with the black swan news, sandbag free news, it's all kind of baked in so far. So let's just dive in technical. Respective recording time of 8:45 a.m. So again, we're in between levels right now. It's still on the daily. You could see that with triple heads 1, 2, 3. And you could see that despite the separation, we are leaning more towards a downward pressure. And the reason it's being driven by the weekly. You can see that the weekly, it is still very like elongated. We have not crossed down in a while. 1, 2, 3, 4 technically on the peaks, right? So you have quadruple resistance level on the top at this level of 47 out of 70. So something to think about. And then on the monthly, you can see that we are looking to kind of glide up. Still, some resistance level here and there. And then take a look at the daily front. 1050 would be the next level to support us, right? And then on Bitcoin, you can see that large separation daily, weekly. It's it's not the best. We have this double head 1, 2, 3, and then on the monthly perspective, you are looking to kind of glide up eventually. So it seems like in the recent time frame, we have already hit the 15,500, which is a resistance level that we know. But is that enough? Is that really the bottom? I would say no. It seems like we're still forming these and this is pretty consistent, right? First letter escalator down, second letter escalator down, and then fourth, fifth, and you keep forming these escalator down. So it seems like we've been walking downstairs for quite some time. And if you look at the true technical level, like where are we going next after the 15,500? It's a long time ago. You kind of have to go backwards to months away from where we were before. So you could see that clearly we are at somewhere around like the level that we have formed like these little peaks, right? But you see this little peaks, right? You cannot really have a strong support from that level. So you need to come down to a lower level, to somewhere that's like a little bit more substantive. So the next level of support, if you look closely, would be somewhere around like 14 to like 12. So I think seeing 12,500 would not be a surprise for us in a relatively comparable perspective. I think that's somewhere around like 785 all the way down to 500 from here. Okay, so definitely mentally prepare yourself. So we are still forming the consistent depreciation. So yeah, it is it is very comparable to like the tulip mania. That if you watch the movie Wall Street Never Sleep, that back in the day there were a hype going on. People were pumping up the price for tulips, like the flower, and it got to one point where I think one bulb of tulips cost like thousands of dollars. But obviously, when the hype went away, it depreciated to like, no, obviously, how much does a tulip cost nowadays, right? So I'm not saying that's the same, we're in the same dynamic, but it is definitely worrisome. So something to think about. But yeah, let's just stay in touch and keep in contact around, the dynamics, the status of how it's gonna be shaking out going forward. But for in the meantime, just have a good weekend, and I will check you on the next one. Take care. Bye.